Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I don't know how loud my microphone is. It seems to tell me it's way too loud.
Hello.
Oops.
I have no idea, but we're here,
Hi. Yes.
and we fit.
Yes, we do fit. It looks like Rindis is looking up from like the abyss. Just like I
To
am
be
being
fair,
sucked
right-
underneath.
To be fair, like behind me is also the abyss, so we're having a theme here.
Yeah.
The abyss and the abyss.
Yep.
To the abyss.
So I guess we need to use Kelsa's green screen to create another abyss, and then.
I mean, I
on
could
brand.
wrap my green screen back around and make that an abyss, and then we'd all just be floating
Everyone's
in
in the
space.
Space.
I guess this has turned into a Made in Abyss story.
Except that's the most colorful manga well, it's not colorful in the manga.
And
but,
just as deadly and horrifying.
fair. It's so good though. It's so
It
good.
is really good, but you need not be of the faint of heart, because that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, it's not great for those who are expecting it to be a cute, cuddly anime like it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about it enough to know that it is not my jam.
It is definitely mine, and I understand why it
Fair.
is not many people's jam. But
You need to have a specific
Jam.
taste of the macabre to like
yeah,
it.
you need to be into the
I have
morbid.
I have a different taste for the macabre.
I thought it
that's entirely
fit.
fair.
I think it fit very well in the Madoka Magica kind of macabre. Myself,
I still haven't
personally.
watched Madoka Magica, and I
You
know
should.
that
It is
might be,
amazing. It
I
is
don't
my
think I
single.
finished Madoka Magica.
It is my single favorite anime ever made. Just saying.
but there's so many shows to watch. Like,
That
who is
is
gonna
the
give me a
problem.
time stopper that I can have my
It's only
36-hour
one.
days?
It's only one season, and the like ovas that condense it actually weren't too bad. Except the third one has nothing to do with anything, so just don't even watch it.
Fair. Like I recently had a friend of mine tell me that I need to start watching the Fate Night series. He's like, no.
I need to watch
No.
the demon one with the little girl with the muzzle and the goat boy, whatever the hell that
It
one's
all
called.
looks cool and
Slayer or
all, but
something.
Yeah,
ain't
people
got no
keep
time
saying
for that.
Demon Slayer is great.
Look, I'm gonna go
Demon Slayer's
rewatch
amazing.
Gargoyles on Disney Plus. That's my next show that I'm gonna
I
binge.
mean, that is not a bad choice to make. To be
I
fair,
think
I
it was.
spend.
I'm pretty sure it was Adam, but somebody was like, "All right, so I'm watching Gargoyles laying in bed playing Pokemon. What is it, 1995 again?" I was like, "Yeah,
Right?
yeah, pretty much. That's exactly
Exactly
what's
that.
going on here."
To be fair, I had the best time watching DuckTales again, which is also like I feel like I'm 5 years old again.
Which
I
is
love
great
the new
because the
DuckTales.
remake
It's
is
pretty great.
yeah, it's like because the remake is great too, and then you can go back.
The
and
remake
watch
is
the
so
original.
good, but I don't understand why they didn't have the second season up on Disney Plus. It's like it's your platform.
It's your
Probably,
platform. Where is it?
probably because you have to pay for the Disney Channel on cable.
Oh god.
And there's probably like
Capitalism.
subsections that are it's terrifying media capitalism at its finest. Anywho,
I'll post today
everybody,
somewhere on
I'm sure
Twitter.
you can see that we are currently missing a person and a Atom transformed into a Rindis. Rindis, why don't you tell everybody who you are and say hi?
Hi, I'm Rindis of Party White Games. I also run a tabletop RPG streaming channel. You can normally catch us most days out of the week. On Thursdays, I pull Outro and Kelsa over where we play Packet Loss. Kelsa is our space mistress there. It's fun times.
Sci-fi is my jam.
Sci-fi is the jams.
I have found a lot of sci-fi buddies, which is good because before I just had a lot of fantasy buddies. Now I can
It's
maybe
good.
cross-contaminate some
It's
of
good.
these.
It's good to branch out every.
I
so
believe it
often.
was you, Zev, but I was watching the first look and reading through Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I was like, wow, I really want to be a wizard in Pathfinder 2nd Edition really bad right now.
I'm so hype about Pathfinder 2, and I would wish I had the time for it, but I'm currently still in a Pathfinder 1 campaign.
That's fair.
And no one is willing to change yet, which is fair because it's a lot of work to change.
They did a really, really good job with keeping things legit with Pathfinder 2. Like, I liked how with like barbarians, it's not like totems. It's inspirations or something like that.
They are
So there's
doing
no like
such good
weird
job.
baggage around it because it's
Yeah. They're doing such a good job to be a front runner in the industry to show like you can also do this the right way.
Yeah.
We didn't actually just
abusing
rip off
everything.
Wizard of the Coast this time.
I mean, last time it was less of a rip-off and more of a we bought your shit, let us use it, and then like we'll slightly fiddle with it. Now they had the time to properly say, okay, we're gonna make our own game, inspired because they found that 4E came out and everyone's like, we don't like 4E. But the 3.5 system isn't being supported anymore, so they were like, I see a place where I can earn the money.
That's exactly what Paizo did. They were just like, so...
like, Pathfinder was great during that dark period of 4th edition.
I will say that D&D 4th edition was amazing, and I will die on that hill.
It's a board game, though.
I don't hate it. I just have never played a game of it for more than 3 sessions because other people don't like it. I would love to be in a game where it lasts, but it's just...
Honestly, I would have loved to play it, but I didn't have friends that played D&D back then, so all I know is what I've read. And it has good design.
You have to play it. You have to play it focused entirely on the combat. Is pretty much what you got to do with.
Yeah, but Pathfinder's the same in that sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, to be fair, like 4E gives you more options to have mechanical stuff for non-combat things because you have those like daily powers, etc. that are super awesome.
There's a bit more to it in the way that they designed the non-combat-y stuff, but I think Kelsa can probably describe it better. But things like, and excuse me picking at my eye there on camera. Like skill challenges was a great concept. They probably could have fleshed that out a little better, in my own opinion. But
I'll agree to that. But I mean, they were still pretty good in general, and I was so mad that they never actually fulfilled all of the online GMing resources that they promised with 4E.
Oh, for sure.
But the ones that they did have were still great. Like being able to just make a monster and just like copy paste over some stat blocks from other monsters and just have that all in one place. Fantastic.
And the minion system is incredible.
Yeah. Yes, minions, I use them in every other system I've played in so far. Minions always come up. It's like, it is so much cooler to have a combat where your party is like mowing through waves of enemies to get to the bad guy.
Yeah.
I once... Actually, have all of you played Tome of Annihilation?
Yes.
Some of it.
Most of it.
So, have you heard of Camp Vengeance?
Yes.
Yes.
They kind of like skip past Camp Vengeance in my game that I run, when they didn't have that great of an encounter there at the start, because
you never do.
The commander is a bit of a dick.
They should call him Commander Ballbreaker, not Bonebreaker.
Yeah. So they came back there way later, and I didn't want to play it. I wanted to think like, what happened here? And in my mind, Captain Niles didn't do so well. Took a dark deal, and now the entire camp was just basically made out of zombies, and he made a dark deal with the Night Hags. Which meant that he basically had no health, but his AC was super high, and anytime he would get hit by a save or die like spell, that kind of stuff, since he basically had like 1 HP, the zombies would die instead. So I just had an entire camp filled with minion zombies that they had to hack through to get to the captain. That was kind of like just dashing in between you because he had a teleport power, which was making him pretty hard to hit. And that was a long but a pretty cool fight that everyone loved.
I might borrow this mechanic for another game that I'm doing. Matt Colville had put out a video last week or a week or two ago, about how to improve solo and boss monster encounters too. And basically it was just giving them more 4th edition style mechanics, basically changing up a short action system, changing up the way layer actions happen, they just have them by a default, and there's a set time frame in the initiative where they just do these different things. And basically he came back in the most recent video and he was like, everybody who's tested it has said one of these mechanics needs to just be a movement feature, something of a teleport or a dash, because as soon as players circle and lock down a creature, no matter what it is, it's just over. So you
And
gotta
that's
keep
true
them
in
moving.
5e, and 5e is the one that's the most open to characters moving around. Imagine back in Pathfinder, where you could only do all of your attacks if you didn't take a move action that turn.
Yeah, even in 3.5,
Full
it's
round
like,
action.
it's like, yeah, I've got 7 attacks unless I move.
Then I got 1. Oh, it's like, of
The
course, no one
worst.
moves anymore. The combat becomes statues in the same location, just waiting and hoping that things come close to you.
Yeah.
So that you can hit them for all your attacks. Otherwise, you as fighter will be useless.
Yeah. I love being that type of fighter though, that just like wades into battle and has those like has feats that like make it so I can move this person, and that move makes it like sometimes forcing an enemy to move doesn't cause an attack of opportunity, but with the certain feats and the fighter thing, you can just like swipe people around and then your friends just beat the hell out of it while you're moving the bad guys. That's my favorite type of fighter to be. I guess it would be like a bully in Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's such a shame that 5e basically doesn't give any bonuses for doing anything but hitting something
Yeah.
anymore. Like, you can try and trip them, but they can stand up before anyone can make use of it most of the time.
Exactly. All right. So I want to jump in because we didn't do something last session because we ran a little bit over. Both Kelsa and Zev are going to level up because at the end of the session they get 10 experience.
Nice.
So
'Cause we
with
survived.
that, you get to choose one of the following: improve one stat by 5 and another by 3, or improve 2 saves by 4.
We haven't even used the save yet, so I'm not sure how useful they'll be.
I mean, we could look at the saves page.
I mean, to be fair, it seems pretty easy to understand that if you do not make your save check, you are in big problems.
That's true.
I kind of want to raise up some of my saves. So would that bonus go in the mods block?
Yeah, I
No,
would.
I think yes.
Yeah, I would put it on the mods.
It will have to be.
And it's raised 2 of them by 4?
Yeah, it's raise 2 saves by 4, or raise 1 skill by 5 and another by 3.
No, I'm gonna raise my saves by 2 of them by 4.
Sounds good.
I think I'm gonna go for a stat improvement here.
I
I've
don't blame you.
learned my lesson last time that I should be smarter about hiding my stuff. There's a bunch of smart people on board.
Not my stash.
Not my stash.
I don't
Stay away
think-
from my stash.
You use chemicals for drugs. I use chemicals for bombs. It's fine.
I mean,
It's fine. We're both illegal.
You don't know what I do.
I mean,
You
maybe
know my
illegal,
life.
maybe illegal in your sense, but not on the former planet that they previously operated on.
Definitely not my fault that it blew up.
All right, so
Absolutely not my fault that it blew up. Don't know what you're talking about.
cool.
All right, guys. It was
All right,
me,
I got
I'm
my
sorry.
stats covered. I have
Cool.
put a 5 in intellect and a 3 in strength. Because I wasn't strong enough yet. And I have hit the 50 now. So any strength check, I actually have a 50-50% chance at the very least. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
That's actually really good. You can pick things up super good, comparatively.
If it comes to lifting stuff, I'm your man.
Yeah, that's
If
what
it
it
comes to
looks
fixing
like.
stuff, I'm generally also your man, but it depends on like what you specifically need.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Let's see.
and I guess we'll take this opportunity to see. Actually, you know what? I guess we'll go into the game before we do that. Did anybody have anything they wanted to?
Don't we get more to do for leveling?
Oh crap! You're right. My bad. You have 2 more things to do. You
I
pick
see what you're doing here, but you're not getting away with it.
You pick one of the 3 followings. You gain 1 resolve to a max of 5. Remove 1 phobia or addiction, or heal all stress. I'm going to guess you guys are going to add to your resolve since none of you have phobias,
Yeah.
addictions, or stress.
I do think we should have probably gotten some stress last time at the end when everything, when Faust became problematic.
Yeah.
Milo should have.
I don't
probably gotten
even
a lot
I
of
don't
stress
even
last
know
time.
if you guys we're aware of Milo's actions aside from like locking himself into the thing, but
Faust's
Faust,
actions.
not Milo. My bad.
Milo is a different problem.
Yeah, Milo was a different problem. You were
I'm
just
not a problem. What are you
super-
talking about? I'm very nice when you get to know me.
I just accidentally unscrewed part of my desk, and I don't want it to drop all my expensive
Ooh.
computer gear.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, don't. Yeah, just don't.
That doesn't that
Yeah, I
sound
think
like
it's-
a
I think it's screwed back in
awful
there.
thing?
All right, cool. So that's fixed. And the next part is you gain 2 skill points. Remember that trained skill points are 1, expert are 2, and master are 3. You can save
So we
these
get
for another level.
2 skill points, you say?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I need to take a look at the player character sheet again to see where the skills go.
Yeah, the one on the one in the book is much better suited for telling you what goes where.
There's
Got the
a
pickups.
there's a handout for it too.
Oh yeah, I did do the handout. Let's
Actually-
not look at my Google Drive.
Actually, I think I'll just spend 1 point on military training and bank the other one for later for now.
Cool. Sounds
Since
wise.
he has been like a mercenary for some time, so he did get the training. But I didn't have any points left last time because I had to put points into the drugs.
It really does make sense for your character to have some type of military training. Like even if you were like forced to participate in the military of your
I've been through the
planet.
drills. I don't want to be in them anymore, but I've been through them.
Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely taking genetics because I'm on the path to xenobiology. So I'll
Nice.
spend both
Okay.
my points to gain genetics.
Excellent. Awesome. So, I guess with that, Rindus, how much do you want to be around in the scene when they come to, or figure out what's going on, I guess? Would you rather be a part of this scene or come in afterwards, so you're kind of like a fresh start without being thrown in?
Where are they coming in?
So it's going to be kind of like they're going to be waking up in a med bay, not on the ship that they were on previously.
Well, would the med bay have like security when they pick up random drifters?
Yeah,
From out of
that's
space.
what I was going to say. You would be that person, or you would come in as like another type of person outside of that event.
I could be the person that's there making sure that they're not hostile life forms.
You're the one who like plasma cuff them to their plasteel benches.
I'm here for your safety.
Of course. So that's actually
so
how
he
this
says.
is going to work. I think the last scene, which we didn't have much time to establish, I'm going to assume that with the explosion that occurred, Siobhan died. She probably got ripped apart in some type of terrifying accident involving
She was my only
the
friend on this ship.
the
Mine
blast
too.
door. So, with that, I would assume that Zev at some point was probably like closing up a patch in the airlock with like some type of superheated, like quick low gravity material that would close it up, and then realizing that there's a lack of oxygen within the core at that time. You probably went to a terminal, activated the distress beacon, and then shot yourself with a tranquilizer to preserve any oxygen. Because when you're tranquilized, you use less oxygen because you breathe less rapidly. So once you made sure that
Probably
you
got
were
myself.
safe,
Yeah.
I don't know whether you would have relayed the same information over to Kelsa, or Kelsa, you may have had like more oxygen to work with, and you saw that the distress beacon was sent, and maybe you weren't quite sure it was Zev or I'm sorry, Milo or Faust.
Can we get in contact to begin with? Because we're kind of cut off last time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
but
cut
they're-
off from each other, and
You're cut off from each other, but the terminals are still able to communicate. Like the long-range communications were busted, but that was only for the like that was being recycled back up when Faust went back into like restart the core. So the long-range communication was probably disabled exclusively for the what's it called? During the boarding,
Yeah.
I guess.
So
There would have
I-
probably been some shouting from Milo to get that bolt face out of the the bridge to try and like salvage this whole thing until I started to notice that that was not gonna happen. There's no better way out for me than to just take care of myself right now, and that's when the trank dart came in. It's like probably a lot more swearing, and well, actually,
coming down off of adrenaline.
We're forgetting about a point. I was high on drugs that were about to wear off. So I probably don't even need a trank dart. I'm probably like screaming over the intercom like, "God the fucking!"
Yeah, we'll go with that. You don't use a tranquilizer serum to put yourself into a state of sleep or
I had
tranquility.
I had an hour or so's worth of oxygen in my suit because I managed to put my suit on. That was like the one thing that I did.
Nice.
Was put my hazard suit on, but an hour or so of oxygen is probably not enough to get us where we need to be.
Well, real quick, can you roll me a intellect? I just want to see what the result is to make some narrative sense out of this.
Do I get to add any bonuses for biology or first aid?
And neither of those apply to this particular situation.
Okay. I also have genetics, explosions, and chemistry. Just saying.
Nah, none of those apply either.
Okay.
Critical failure. Oops.
Oh, shit.
So you do not recognize, and
no.
so with that, where's the critical failure table? Because they actually have rules for critical. I was going to say something specific happens, but there's tables for this.
BRB rolling up a new character.
Yeah, so...
And no oxygen, she died. It has been fun knowing you. Bye!
Bye!
Give me back drugs, please.
We're just gonna give you the Aliens 3 what happened recap. You died in space. That's all.
Critical failures. Anytime. Critical hits, critical fails. You roll your opponents when if both succeed. This is a post check. Okay. Called a critical failure. Okay. Oh, so there isn't a table for me to go on specifically. But what I will say is
stress or something.
You do not crit fail, catastrophe, but you may incur some other penalty, complication, or even damage as a result. I'm going to say that as a result of this crit failure, you do not recognize the thing I was trying to see if you recognize, and you accidentally catch one of your tubes on, I don't know, I guess like a haphazardly placed like bolt cutter that was just sitting around in the working area, and it's not like it's turned on or anything. It's not like revved up, but it's just sharp enough to split through the tube that feeds oxygen from the tank into your head.
Oh, of course.
So I think that's the catastrophic event that occurs. So instead of having an hour, you probably get about 10 minutes of oxygen before you realize that you're going to either die or fall unconscious. You do, however, see that a distress beacon has been sent out from the ship, but it may not exit like the close proximity for another 3 or so minutes until the cycling of the computers finishes rebooting the long-range communication.
Right.
Should we, while we're at it, should both Patterson and Millo take a stress, since one of the stress points is anytime the ship you're in takes a hit?
Yes, I'm going to say...
Sounds like that happened.
I'm going to say yes, take a stress for that. Although it's kind of like retconning it from last session. I will say since
but
we're...
it's fine, we're all learning.
Yep, exactly. And we're playing into a like flashback event.
We're having a little montage to see where we ended up last time.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, what is your decision after that event occurs, Kelsa?
I mean, yeah, giving myself a tranquilizer to reduce my oxygen intake seems like a good idea. At that particular point, I'm still hiding out where whoever's there is like not going to, whoever busted into our ship isn't going to find us, but hopefully someone coming to rescue us would.
Cool. So we're going to, for the rest of this scene, we're going to do that video game thing where, like, whenever you get captured or knocked unconscious or anything like that in a video game, you just kind of, like, come in and out of consciousness at, like, the middle of sentences as your captors are pulling you or putting you into a bed or locking you to a radiator or, like, dropping you off of a dry dock into, like, a cart kind of thing. So those are things that happen. First, you like get like that first person like pulsating with black around the edges view of like somebody in a military suit grabbing you by your legs and dragging you out of the ship. You get your first sensation of like a quality may not be the right word, but like a full gasp of air at that moment. You fall back out of consciousness, and then like moments later you find yourself like getting pushed and rolled over about a foot onto like a not super cushioned like back of a, I don't know, like a cart is the best way to describe it.
Nice. The meat wagon.
Yeah, like the meat wagon.
It is carrying a pound of flesh.
Then you it's like not exactly on wheels though. It's kind of hovering. So like when you hit it, you get a solid bounce. And then the next thing you recognize that you're going down like a very large industrial elevator. And then you realize you're being like surrounded by people with face masks and medical garb. And this is when you start to wake up, I guess. So
Seems unsafe to breathe in.
I'm going to start with Millo. Millo, you become conscious, and you look around and you recognize that there are 4 other people, one of which is in a bed, 2 beds down from your own. The other 2 people, there's one person who appears to be standing guard, but they're like leaning against the window, and I guess you can give us a description of your character, Rendis.
Yeah, so the character, Corporal Saul Jabari, is security for this area. They are, would have been of whatever the equivalent of African descent is here. Dark complexion, dark hair, scruffy looking, short curls, and a maintained beard. As you said, looks very bored because he's on, medical detail. So it's making sure the doctors don't malpractice on you guys and make sure you guys don't wake up and are hostile. Probably is just doing one of those, just like, not sure if this is important or not, but that one's moving.
Awesome. So as you
as Milo gets up, he like looks over and like, right, what you guys pick me up for again
I'm gonna be so mad at you if you don't rip the IV out of your arm like the beginning of every sci-fi movie.
Oh god.
What
I
are you
didn't even
doing?
notice there was an IV yet, but
No,
that's like definitely like.
I was just being a goof because it's
not
a
an
trope.
IV, it's a catheter.
Oh no, that would hurt a lot to just rip out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I think it gets up. It kind of like looks around and he's still pretty dazed from everything that happened. And just looks at the guard. And is like,
There's another person. The other person is like a very scrawny. You can't really tell what they identify as. Like wearing scrubs,
Yeah.
not like lab coat, just like scrubs as if they were a nurse. And they're hunched over what looks like a pan and a tray in the corner, and they respond back. It's like, well, it's about time. I guess I should buzz the doc.
but, and he's obviously like still in a daze and thinks he's somewhere else than that he's actually at, and it's like, I told you I haven't done anything since last time you got me. Is this? I have been fucking. Wait.
No, friend,
Where
tell
am
us
I?
more. What have you been up to lately?
So I guess the doctor starts to wake up now, You recognize that you have an IV in your arm. Would you like to use an intelligence in chemistry to determine what is pumping into your veins?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, I would. I'd like to know what's in my veins here.
Okay.
Let's go.
Where's the best? Oh, I didn't have an
Fucking
IV.
shit.
Well,
Did I or did I not have an IV?
Ugh.
you did. If you did want to do the ripping it out of your arm
Yeah, because
thing.
I have chemistry as well.
Also, are you
I
okay
didn't.
over there? Your dice today are
Nope,
just.
also failure.
Okay.
He said it
At
wasn't
least
a
it's
critical
not
failure.
critical.
So I'm going to say that there's something a little bit off about the saline drip that Kelsa is getting.
Yeah, I think.
Like maybe they missed the vein or something.
Ugh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that would be terrible. Just having
would be terrible.
saline
Yes,
dumped
that would
into
be
your muscle
terrible.
tissue.
Ugh.
That would be the worst. No,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, that's what's
Luckily, they
happening.
didn't
You're
mind.
actually going to take.
Okay.
You're going to take a harm from that.
Sure. How do I express
Um,
that on my character sheet?
Let's see. I'm pulling up. So you have
I believe
health.
you just have health,
Yeah, you
so-
have health. So
Ah,
roll a d4, and that'll tell us how much damage you take.
3.
This is a little. So you take 3 damage, and you're going to narratively have something up with your left arm.
Okay. I'm gonna pull
Okay,
that.
and just,
I'm gonna pull
yeah,
that
just-
IV out.
Okay.
Just real quick in between, I want to say how hype I am that I have a decent chance of surviving a shotgun blast now since I have a 100 health.
Oh,
Holy
dope.
dang!
I have a 50-50 chance. I have a 50-50 chance to survive the shotgun blast now.
Holy crap.
Those are good
Yeah.
odds, at least. Better than
Um,
most.
So as you pull that out of your arm, like there's like a very soft siren, like a this room only kind of like medical siren, like a beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop, and the little nurse-esque person is just like, oh well, I wouldn't do that. That's keeping you hydrated. That's a saline drip. Like, are you dumb?
Oh,
Why don't you just leave that in your room?
noise.
Why don't you just leave that in your... Why does everybody always do this? You wake up in a hospital and you act like you're big and tough, ripping your needles out of your arms, but it's just doing you more harm than good.
If you put it in my vein, then maybe I'd agree with you.
I like look over and see your arms all purple and red, and I'm like, well, good thing I'm not the phlebotomist here. How about that doctor? Hey, Corporal Jabari, how about you, run interference while I go get the doctor? Bye. And she, like, scurries behind you to go get the doctor.
Give me something to drink while you're at it.
There's a pause where I look towards the door, making sure that they have in fact left. They're gonna walk over.
You hear, like, the airlock slide.
Yep, waiting for that sound of the airlock shutting, and then we'll produce a flask from within my coat and pass it over to Milo.
Oh God, you're a godsend. Thank you.
Just don't be telling anyone.
I think I could use some of that.
Well, maybe
Take
if you
it.
ask nicely.
Give me your booze or else.
And like,
Give the
she
flask
like,
back too.
she like does like the nose bridge pinch, but it's like because she's still kind of fucked up from this whole experience, and not because of you calling her out per se. And she's like, please.
Never one to keep a lady waiting, and I'll pass it over.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
think
you. That's all it was.
You can call me Jabari for now.
Very well.
Do you actually, like, look down at your badge on your shirt when you say that?
Do I know?
Yeah, because you look down on your camera. It was like, perfect
no,
timing.
Yeah, it's like you can call me Jabari. That's a convincing cover for the person I murdered before coming in here.
It's really a
Milo
rescue
tries to do the
mission.
same. Just looks
Excellent.
down and like, you can call me Olim. Right? Yes, Olim.
Reading. Good stuff.
Awesome. So if that's like the introduction scene, I guess, like, does anybody want to take a good look around, or?
I mean, I think
Millo wants to ask what the hell's going on.
Okay.
I mean-
He's noticed that it's not the police again.
Dr. Patton wants to know where Faust and Siobhan are.
So
These are the
just
only two we recovered, right?
yeah. So without putting Rendis on the spot here, trying to answer questions that he doesn't know, I'm going to go ahead and have the doctor come in.
Well, I was
Before
gonna be
that-
like, we could
I mean,
just scene change on that
So
question. but-
Millo would point out, there's like,
Well, she kind of lost her legs when the boom went off. And more than legs, but yeah.
Yeah, we're
The legs were the only ones I saw floating while the gravity was draining from the ship.
You were the only living ones we recovered.
I
Sorry
take
to
another.
say.
I take another swig.
yeah,
like-
over.
Yeah, I'll hit
And then
it.
the doctor comes in while I'm mid-swig, like,
Perfect.
Good. Yes. I'm like.
Going to immediately take that and put it back in my coat, like nothing happened.
So you incriminate yourself with it. The doctor.
Absolutely not.
The
You
doctor.
confiscated it.
I confiscated it. Yeah.
The doctor is reading their chart at this time, so they don't
Good.
really recognize what you got going on there. All right, give me 1 second here.
I don't know where we are, but you should fire your phlebotomist.
Excuse me?
I like
whatever
hold
Missy said.
hold up my arm.
Just fired a flubby blubbiest. Whatever.
The flubby bubbinists. Well, oh shit. That looks super not great. Well, that's not gonna do at all. Hold on 1 second. And he comes over and he has like one of those needles that look like a gun because it's a sci-fi. And he just like shoots it into your upper arm and he's like, "You're gonna be sore for 2 days, but." So why we
where's
don't.
my amputation?
That's
Come
why
on.
they need to give me less green recruits for doing this kind of shit. I've told them 20 times.
Where is here, by the way?
And what is here?
Wouldn't you want to
I
know?
is here.
Well,
Who is here?
that's the first question I'll
besides
answer.
Jabari.
My name is Dr. Kiryu. You are in the medical ward of the Skeleton. It's a mining rig, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Kinda not a great place to be. I'm sorry for you, but you're here now, and that's how it's
Why?
probably going to be for a little bit.
What happened to my ship?
Well, your ship is kind of both destroyed and impounded.
What?
Both, huh?
What? What?
How far are we from Tashira?
From to what?
Tashira?
I have no idea what you're talking about, lady.
It's a planet. And like she rattles off like space coordinates.
Let me be
Why are
real.
we at
Let me be
Ephesus?
really real with you for a moment. You are far too optimistic for the situation that you're currently in. Just saying. That's how things are going right now.
Can you, doctor, please look at me. Can you get someone who can tell us the fuck is going on right now?
I can tell
That
you
would
what.
be lovely.
I
'cause
can
you're
tell you the
skirting around
fuck.
problem.
I can tell you the fuck's going on right now. What's going on is you all were rescued by the grace of Labor HQ. Your ship was impounded because you were in regulated space that no ships are permitted to enter. And, well, you're currently being tested to make sure that you don't have any viruses if you couldn't tell by the quarantine you're inside of. Which, lucky for myself, the nurse who just scampered out of here, and our security staff here, there is nothing inside of you that we need to worry about yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Well-
We got the hell away from a planet that just exploded, and we're getting impounded just because of.
You know, I hear so
Way
many
out
stories it's just getting really, really exhausting. I understand that you don't want to be here, and that you probably didn't intend on ending up here, but you're here now, and it's gonna take a lot more than explaining how important you are, or what you were carrying, or what you're doing, for anybody in charge to give you the
Can you
go-ahead
at the very
to
fucking
leave.
least stop saying rescued us if you're the ones that blew us up to begin with?
What the hell are you talking about? Blew you up to begin with.
Something just blew us up on the way there.
Our
We're
ship
apparently
dropped-
in space that we're not appearing to be.
Our
1 + 1
ship
=
dropped
2 last
straight
time
out
I
of-
checked.
Straight out of hyperspace. And
Well,
then we were boarded.
I can assure you I have no understanding as to what did that or who did that, but I will assure you that if and when
Faust.
you ever get the opportunity to speak with Robbie
not-
or Donovan, they may be able to give you a better understanding. But
They.
they're the ones in charge. I am sort of just the welcoming party. Sorry to burst the bubble.
Can you at least tell me one thing? Did the robot get blown up?
The what robot?
God fucking
Jabari
damn
just
it.
shrugs too. It's like,
As
Who are
far
these
as we
people
can
need to
tell,
talk to?
living,
Jabari, it's Donovan.
sentient, robot,
something.
whatever. You two were the only things, and whatever was behind the living quarters of your ship, completely gone. There is no history or understanding. Honestly, it's very bizarre because whatever you were carrying has been deleted from the logs of your ship as well.
Was
So,
important research.
yes, I'm
What
sure.
were you putting in my ship?
Classified.
Well, we're in fucking classified space now anyway, because we're not meant to be here, so I guess it doesn't matter anymore.
I guess it doesn't. We're never going to see it again, I'm sure.
Right, well, bring me to the manager, whatever they're called. Done or something.
It's not that simple. I'm sorry. What is your name? You're funny. This guy. And he, like, kind of nudges Jabari, so I'm thinking he can talk to Donovan.
Can I at least get access to a long-range communication device?
Oh,
I need to check in with my company.
a what?
when they said it's classified space, you're not really being able to get communication though.
Not like those communications would come back in any time in the next few years anyway. This place is very, very remote. You must understand that long-range communications work through sound waves. Sound only travels at a certain speed. The closest system that has anything remotely close to sentient human life? Huh. You're a long way from home, miss. That's all I'm going to say. Or should I say doctor? I saw... Doctor?
Doctor, thank
Hey.
you.
Maybe
You
when
don't
they
want
maybe
me
when they're
reaching out
finished
to the other
patching you
line.
up, they can put you to work with me. I could use a phlebotomist.
Hey, outro. Quick question.
Yeah.
Can I see how much I know of the skeleton with my rimwise?
Yeah, go ahead.
That does seem like an appropriate skill
Because that
there.
would be
It
nice to
does.
see how much of a shithole we're in.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
I
take
don't
it
know
intelligence.
shit.
So
what I know-
it's going to be intelligence and then plus. Is Rimwise a expert or a trained skill?
It's a trained skill.
Okay, so plus 10%.
So then, come on. God damn it, we haven't had a single success yet. It is
Well.
so close. It is
Well.
so close.
With that, wow, you were 2 points away. You know that the Skel is the name of a mining outpost that is currently under possession of a very secretive, like, I don't know, rare materials conglomerate, I guess, is the best way to put it. Other than that, people don't visit here unless they're under like a paid contract in which they have to pass security clearances, and nobody leaves unless they have the same thing or they're part of the delivery staff. So that's all you know, and for all you can tell, those are all old wives' tales. So
Yeah, I think there's a moment that Milo just kind of like he shuts up for a moment as it starts to sink in where we are.
Yeah, and Dr. Patton still has no idea.
Yeah, the coordinates are completely like blacklisted and confidential. There's no like. You probably, if you turned on like a navigation system for your ship, it probably wouldn't register. It'd be like scrambled as if it were Google Maps over Area 51 kind of thing.
It's one of those places that you both need to know the location of and need to have specific like devices that are allowed to put it even input the location.
Exactly.
Which is like one step further than Hephaestus was, since Hephaestus is just one of those, like, it's an island that was never mapped in a sense.
Right. Yeah, and I think that, yeah, Dr. Patton is starting to get the idea that she's not going anywhere, but I don't think she has quite the depth of what's going on that Milo just acquired.
Fair. So Milo, if you share that information, I'm sure you can share that information. How about Jabari? Does Jabari want to throw some things in? Like, are you having fun watching them kind of flounder about?
Watching them kind of flounder about, and when there was the mention of we're a long way from human sentient life, he would have chimed in, and you don't want to be contacting the other sentient life out there.
Oh, our friend here is absolutely right. You don't want to talk to any of them. Oh, if they even knew where we were, that would be... The man up top would be very angry. That's why there is only one means of communicating off of the Skel, and that is under Rabbi's control. She's great. You should meet Rabbi.
I would love to meet Rabbi.
Rabbi is your head of communications, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
Words I can hang around.
What do you need to do to speak to her then?
You probably need to get out of those scrubs and into working clothes and acquire enough points to have a luncheon with her. And like,
oh god,
she points out the window, and like you see like a scoreboard that kind of has like a ticker system, like a subway rail, where just like the numbers are flipping, and there's like different names of people on the board for like points acquired going up and down.
Dr. Pitter we're slaves.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that.
Shut up.
Everybody here is part of the
you know
labor
just
force.
as well as I do what I'm talking about.
Shut up.
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not.
The term indentured servants.
And
fucking
the doctor
God
is
damn it.
talking into her like shirt. Like, absolutely not. I would never think such things.
I grab the first thing that's on whatever nearby and just throw it at the doctor's face, like, shut up.
I want to dodge that.
I'm sure you do.
Is there a way to
I'm entirely fine with it. I'm entirely fine with the doctor just dodging it, but I am also fine with rolling a combat roll or something along those lines to see if
I was gonna
I
say,
just rolled a
is
dodge.
there-
Oh, I was successful. Holy crap, that was such a hard roll to succeed in.
I was gonna ask, was there a way to interfere with that? Because it's like this is what I'm here for, to make sure things are not thrown at the doctor.
I mean, mechanically, yes, you could have did something, but I'm just going to say, like, she dropped her pen and reached down for it right at the perfect time.
She's so
thing.
used to it.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so used to it, she just does one of these and it just sails past.
Listen,
Well, Doctor,
I
hope
understand that
you've
you're
worked on-
frustrated, but with that attitude, you're just going to continue to be... If you maintain that attitude, you're just going to continue to be frustrated. The best way to make do
It
is
sounds
to
like a fair life to me.
make
That's
do.
been my last 15 years.
Oh, I see. Just lean back and think of England, huh? Is that the way it is?
I guess.
Well,
if that's how you want to
bring us
pass.
wherever we need to go.
Well,
We're
we
not
need
gonna
to
get any better in here.
we need to have an aptitude test, and this is when they like check to make sure that your what's it called? Your aspect ratio on your TV fits your video game, and you don't want to use inverted controllers, kind of thing. If we were a video game, this is what would happen.
Okay.
So after that,
if these like markings are noted somewhere, he would probably say like that dude should have had his already because he had one of these with the police not even a week ago.
Well, what you
Awesome.
think was a week ago?
Yeah, right.
But I think it
We
was a
don't
week
know.
ago. Yes.
We
fair.
don't know at this point. So with that said, I guess we'll move onward. You guys get geared up. You're wearing like drab ass miner uniforms, but you haven't been assigned jobs yet. So you leave the medical quarters, which like this was the room that you guys were in, the middle of the med wing. Across the hall, like on the end here, you'll see like a scoreboard, and then across the hall is where you see mechanical for androids and ship parts and stuff like that. And then there's a doorway out, which splits into a hallway that leads into a small room, a glass door room on the one side, and then what looks like the security outpost, which is where you guys are brought into. When you're brought in, you're told to sit down on a stool. Do you do so?
No.
You don't
I
sit
do.
down?
I look salty as fuck about it, but I do.
All right,
Put a-
Jabari.
Put a friendly hand on Milo's shoulder.
Jabari, I like you. Don't change that.
Don't worry, friend. If anything were wrong, I'd let you know ahead of time.
Oh, there's so many things wrong.
Yeah,
Just sit
but
down and
sometimes
shut
you-
up for a moment, Milo.
Sometimes you have to roll with it to find the silver lining.
You know what? Talking about a silver lining. You got coffee for me? Then I'd see a silver lining. I'd shut up and sit down if you can bring me some goddamn coffee.
We have regulated rationed coffee.
Yes, but like because of there's regulated ration coffee, but there's also a policy for new recruits. So you can provide some instant caffeinated beverage drink to our friend here.
Is this one of those things where you get a taste of the good stuff and then they're like, next time it costs you 10,000 points?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
no,
I
was
didn't
gonna-
say that.
I was gonna make a joke that the coffee is not paid for, but it's like a week's rations for creamer.
Nah,
Mm.
I don't think I go with
That's
that
fine.
because many people like myself drink their coffee black, so that wouldn't be the way to bring them in. But
No,
that
no. You get the coffee dust, and that is free. But the
The
water
water.
will cost you rations.
Yeah.
Water is a week's ration, yeah.
water and oxygen are definitely part of the point
Yeah.
system. So,
Mhm.
but I'm going to say that there is policy for new recruits while you're being initiated and explained into how things work. You can have yourself a coffee. There's like a written out policy as to how to distribute the coffee. You give them a single 8-ounce cup with their choice of fixings, and that's that. And then they're going to answer questions like who they are, how they identify, what they consider their preferred profession, what they
At least
believe
the
they are
evil space
best at.
corporate cares enough about how you identify. Your other rights are out the window, but we'll make sure you get the proper.
It's more,
profession.
it's more the game master cares.
I know. I'm just making.
I
No,
still
no.
like that policy.
It has been
Yeah, no, it's like-
scientifically proven that we are more productive when we're called to things
Yeah.
that we would like and pronouns that we're likely to be called.
Yeah, no.
A
I love
worker
it. It's
facing
great.
gender euphoria is one that works at 10% higher efficiency.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Great.
you go.
I love it. 'Cause the rest of your rights don't matter, but we will not mess up your pronouns. It is important for proper workplace productivity.
Excellent. So
Get
yeah,
back
it's
to your 19-hour day.
so. Do you, after getting your coffee, are you going to allow Jabari to handcuff your leg to the chair? Both of you guys are going to one way or another. It's just a matter of whether you're okay about it or not.
I
Jabari,
am.
It's just a
I am
precaution.
minimally. Instead of opposive, I am minimally pliant. After
I was
coffee.
gonna say Jabari leans in and says, "It's important that I have your consent in being handcuffed to the chair. Corporate makes sure we do such things."
Jabari, I didn't catch you for that kind of type.
I
Me-
fucking
maybe
get you.
later
Your
tonight.
compliance is not a factor, and I just cuff him in. Hey, that's my wake-up alarm.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, good evening.
Yeah, it's
Still.
7 p.m. But anywho, so they
For
go
some people.
down
What are you talking
the.
about? It's 1 a.m.
It's 5 p.m.
It's 4 in the afternoon.
So we go
All our time
down.
zones.
We go down a list of different questions. The most important, other than like it just being like, here is your eye exam, here is your like physical. Let's make sure you don't have a hernia. Those kind of things.
Mhm.
It's mostly. Would you prefer to work with the person that you arrived with, or would you prefer to work separately? Do you have a preferred type of job you would like to do out of these 3? And they list the like 3 beginner jobs, which all are listed as like level 3 danger. Because they have to tell you how dangerous they are, because it's a labor force. So
We've had no opportunity to like speak semi-privately so far, right?
I don't think so.
no, you
Patterson and I.
have not had an opportunity to speak privately yet.
Yeah, we haven't even had
Not even privately, like semi-privately. If it's like just me.
Yeah, walking
Dr. Patterson and
down the
Jabari,
hallway,
that's-
being guided by Jabari, you probably had like 2 minutes to talk between the 2 of you.
So, I'd say it's probably smarter to hang out somewhere near each other, since you and I are probably literally the only things that we know here. Even the little that we know each other.
I'll take you over a perfect stranger as
At least
Can't
we
be
know
worse.
which buttons we shouldn't push with each other. Even if we
Fair
push them
enough.
often enough.
Let's see if we can get a shop nearby each other at the very least. I have a feeling we're gonna have a new long-term project.
well, you and I both have a vested interest in getting off of this place.
I'd also like to know where my ship is. But
Impounded.
everything
What's
at its
left
own
of it?
pace.
Impounded, what's left of it
Usually.
is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Jabari, you don't know yet, but I can fix anything.
Jabari, you will know for this being your 5th or 6th rodeo that whatever job they select as their actual job, you will be going on as the overseer and muscle. You will be
Yeah.
the labor is more expensive than the cost to shoot bullets at things. So they need you to protect the workers.
And smile at Milo and just like, well, once we have time to start requisitioning the forms to get all the pieces moved to a single storehouse, you might be able to start reading it.
That would be nice.
Currently,
Well, very
they're in
promising.
34 separate storage locations.
Honestly, if you need more of you, I can do that job as well. But I guess you probably rather have me lifting stuff.
So I guess we'll go ahead and do the flashback to the present, where you're selecting a job, and I guess you guys are like, kind of like looking to see which ones each other's picking, like unless you're talking, because nobody said you have to be quiet or anything.
I'm like scanning these jobs. I'm like, which one of these lets me blow up things?
Well, none of them start that way, though. This retrieval mission here, there's a quite high possibility it's the result of a cave-in, so you may have to put in some charges. That could have you.
You're gonna blow up
explode
stuff that
things.
already. Whatever. It's not.
And
like-
this is faceless NPC behind the security window talking to you.
I think it would help.
I take it any high danger job pays more than any low danger job.
They're all high danger.
But there's higher danger and higher danger.
I mean, some would
Yes, he
say that
starts here for a reason.
some would say that the less dangerous jobs are the most dangerous ones. Like, I don't know,
So which one pays the best?
ration distributor, but you have to get to a certain rank to achieve that goal. Also, that's probably the most
Yeah,
dangerous job on the entire station.
Right, and the one before that one.
And the one before that one, oh no, probably my position. You get shot with a fucking taser. Insubordination will not be tolerated.
I was gonna say Jabari just takes out stun baton and pokes him in the back.
Yeah, like Dr. Patton is kind of like leaning, like nodding along as Milo is like that, and then as soon as the response comes back, she sits back in the chair and she kind of has a half smile, like, I'm happy the fact that you threatened them, and also I'm kind of happy with the fact that you got tasered for it.
But yeah, eventually he'll, like, his forte are basically just being strong and moving shit and engineering, but
You
like,
shouldn't.
He has some knowledge about chemistry, so that makes it an easier way to stick around with Dr. Patterson.
Let me see. I'm trying to see whether you should take like damage or stress for that.
That sounds like a body safe
Yeah, like
for
an
the stress.
yeah, body save sounds about right. Cool. Go ahead and
Let's see
make
if
that.
for once the crew
Make
can
a
roll a check
roll.
that does not end in failure.
Nope, not this time. All right, so you'll gain one stress this time for getting zapped.
For getting zapped a whole damn lot.
Yeah, you
Nice.
got shook. You got shocked so bad it shook. All right. So there are two other jobs other than the one that involves like a retrieval mission. There's one in which you are expected to fly out on a vessel, more like a shuttle, I guess, to one of the research stations that recently went dark. And then there is another one in which you are expected to post out guard at the entry at the side dry docks, which you don't know where the side is, but
So, okay. So looking over the jobs, I think Dr. Patton kind of is like sitting there, like I picture her like chewing on the end of her pen, pencil, stylus, whatever, as like a nervous tick, and she's like going down the list, and she's like, "I'm definitely in favor of the chance to blow something up. I think that would be fantastic for relieving some stress. This one here, you said research station recently went dark? No." And I just like draw a line through that one.
nope,
I
absolutely
like
not.
that one.
I know enough about research stations to know I don't want to be the first one in one that's recently gone dark.
Research stations go dark all the time around here.
That's
You're not making
that's an
things better.
accurate statement.
That's very
You're
distressing.
not making things better, Jabari.
It's part of the nature of research.
And I like kind of like tap on the last one, and I'm like, I don't know about this guard position. It's not really my forte.
You got me for that.
I don't want to leave it all on you.
I'm here as well.
All right, so out of character, is there one that anybody feels strongly about?
Honestly, Milo could do anything right now because he is so done with everything. So it
Just-
doesn't matter to him.
Just needs to blow off some
Just
steam.
like, just get me something to do so I can move and like get the energy out of my body. After that, we'll see what is interesting or important.
So I guess what's going to happen is I feel that Kelsa has the most interest, and I'm probably the most prepared to do the retrieval mission down in the
Okay.
spine. I think that would be a good choice. Otherwise, we aren't going to jump right into that. We're probably going to do the Tour de la Skel.
I like the idea of the retrieval mission, personally. Out of character, I'd love to see what the fuck happened to those research stations, but
I'm sure you would.
Dr. Patton is not cool with that.
Yeah, that's why I think Milo would be the one to like that the most. Like, first of all, like seeing that you're like uncomfortable with that, they're like,
Right. Time for a hazing.
All right.
The other bonus of doing like especially in Dr. Patton's mind, the other bonus of doing the retrieval mission is if she does actually need to use explosives and clear out some cave-ins, that is a way to like highlight, showcase one of her specialties and possibly fast track her to a better job.
That's fair. That's a good point. You're thinking about it smart. You're not just pissed that you are currently now being used as labor.
I'm also definitely pissed.
Yeah, but you're not showing that. You're not showing that
because
currently.
that won't help me get out of the situation.
Exactly. I like it.
I'm looking ahead at, okay, I have to play their fucking game. I'm gonna play it well. Basically.
Cool. I dig.
Yeah,
it.
Millo is just too used to having to do any goddamn job that he came across. Like, the reason why his like nickname is the Fixer is because he fixes any problem. So he got too used to doing everything to like have an idea of how to promote himself in a specific field.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right, so I guess you guys check off the retrieval mission, and then you continue through your well, you already did the aptitude examination. Now it's just like a basic IQ test, and then like a physical. It's not like one where it's like, can you lift 50 pounds over your head? It's like, you're going to come over here and pick up this 50-pound box. Yeah, kind of thing. They don't trust you writing yes or no to that. They're going to make sure you can or cannot do it.
Right.
Yeah, well, or stats should
running
show how...
running on a treadmill in a full oxygen suit. Like, all that kind of stuff.
I'm bad at all of those things.
Cool.
I'm good at all of those things. We're
but
a great team.
You're probably really good at like when they're like, hey, why don't you show us what wire connects where? Or like in the part of the aptitude test where they have you disarm a ticking bomb kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
Yeah. So
I'm fantastic at those parts.
Excellent. So you guys go through that. It probably takes you all of 6 hours to finish all of this stuff that they have you doing. But afterwards,
yeah, I think what Millo would do once he like calms down a little bit is he would try and like stick around with Dr. Patton a little bit and at least show that he is a good help in the fields that she's best at, since he does have like a decent amount of knowledge when it comes to chemistry and isn't like severely stupid.
So you show off that you could be a hand for. Okay, cool. I dig that.
Yeah, okay. that besides the fact that I'm strong and I can lift all the stuff and I'm good at repairing, I'm also like smart enough to know to help her with like chemistry stuff and like understand what she's working on and not be as good at it as she is, but like be pretty much decent enough to be a real good like help in those situations.
Yeah, I think I really appreciate that, and I've like gained a certain amount of respect for you over the last 6 hours.
Awesome. Cool. So after this this series of testing is completed, they give you, I don't know how to explain this because it's something close to me that I want to describe, but they used to give, if you had a season pass to the Philadelphia Zoo, they would give you these plastic keys that worked in this like giant tree building that's in the zoo that would like activate different like things, whatever. But it was like one of those plastic keys that aren't even key shaped, but they give you one of those. They just give it to Millo and they're like, this is you guys' quarters. Go find it. And like they throw it and it like falls on the floor in front of Millo.
No. Speed test. God damn it.
And it falls on the floor in front of Millo.
And it falls on the floor in front of Millo.
Near the zoo where I live, we had something very similar to that, actually. We had there's a place called Fairy Tale Town, which is like it's like a little park with a bunch of little features, and there's like a plastic key, and you put them in the features and it will like tell you a nursery rhyme about this thing that's like one of the fairy tales, like
so essentially the same thing, except this key would like open a little room that had a monitor that would tell you about like lemurs or something like that.
That's cool.
My life's a lie. We did not have such cool things.
Oh.
I mean, the tree has been disabled for like 20 years, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to say, before we go into the next scene, you guys head out of the security outpost, which is right here, where I just pinged. and then you walk out to this hallway. Upon getting towards the end of the hallway, you start to hear like loud hustle and bustle street fair kind of noises. And then you open the door, and then you get the from super bright, cool fluorescent lights into like warm and rustic interior, and then we're going to cut to take our break.
All right then.
Yeah. So 10 minutes ish, and we'll be right back, guys. Stay tuned.
We've gotten ourselves into some deep, deep trouble.
Womp, womp.
Regular trouble.
Regular
Regular.
trouble.
Deep regular trouble.
Labor HQ. Labor HQ approved trouble.
Well, hell.
All right, we'll be right back soon. 10-ish minutes, guys. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Hot microphones.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We
Right.
did it.
The mics have just been on the whole time.
Still
now we're muted.
alive. For now.
We're still alive. Well, I figured the next bit is going to be sort of, I guess Jabari would give a little bit of a, like, tour of what's going on. I will say that there's security outposts everywhere, and you guys will probably notice that, like, really fast.
This is where you pay hours to sleep. This is where you pay hours to get food. This is where you pay hours to go to the bathroom.
Precisely.
Everything has a cost.
I will flip back to the roll. So, the point system. I guess I'll explain this before you guys leave, like after the keys were thrown at you. So the point system works like this: each man-hour worked acquires you this. Now there are multipliers applied based off of the level of risk that is implied with each job, and anything that the overseer of your job may see as redeemable can be petitioned forward for bonus points. Each person is tracked, and they like nod their head behind themselves and displayed publicly for all to see. Currently, we have 387 different labor force members. We have another 100 working in Labor HQ who are not tracked because that would be unfair. They are just provided basic necessities. Security, shipping. Shipping has an interesting relationship because they are paid both in what is used as outside currency and on-ship currency, or on-station currency.
Oh, yeah. I got a question. Have you ever felt a human emotion?
It just so happens this person is an android.
I mean, we can't like see them through the
Yeah,
thing
it's the faceless NPC behind the security glass.
No, I think that's perfect, actually.
So they respond with, that is a very intimate question to be asking on your first day. I almost said
That was
comrade,
one
but
of
that
those.
would be a little too on the nose.
Two on the
Yeah.
nose.
All right, I see. It's one
Question
of
to be
those.
asking, meatbag.
Yeah, sure, bullface.
Well,
But yeah, no.
I think
continue on.
you have enough information to get yourself started. It's going to be at least 24 hours before you are assigned. Let it be known that your job that we have provided, well, the job that will be provided may or may not be the one that you selected to go on based off of your aptitude and your physical examination results, which I'm sure I don't need to explain to you. If you decide you want to go and take on hand-to-hand combat against a giant brawly insect monster, and you can't even lift 50 pounds, we're not going to give you that job. It's just how it works. So we're going to take your recommendation as a recommendation, and then use our systems for determining best fit. So
Right, well,
somebody
you
will be
said
in
it starts
contact with you.
tomorrow.
Somebody will be in contact with you within the next 24 hours, and you'll know the start time and the pay scale for your job.
You said it started
Welcome
tomorrow,
aboard
right?
the Skel.
Can't I just, I don't know, lug luggage around or something for the day? Earn some few extra hours already.
I like your initiative, but that's not how this works. You need to, you still have your initiation that you have to go through. So far, you have just gone through
great.
the basic testing to make sure that you can be fit into a job that we have. And now,
I don't think I need
you're going
initiation to
be...
lug around crates.
Yes, but you need to know where it is you are and how to get from place to place. Because if you don't know where you need to go, how efficient can you be?
I'm in a nightmare, that's all I need to know.
Just go find your quarters. Rest up. There'll be rations there for you.
We have plenty of time.
Does he like kind of
to-
like he throws the keys towards the plastic key towards Dr. Patton, like
Let
Well,
me
you're the
see if-
smart one.
Let me see if
Go
I
find
can
us
catch
where we
it.
need to go.
Because I'm bad at this.
Let's see, can you...
Oh, I'm
we
real bad.
haven't had a successful roll yet.
Nope.
That's this
The
game.
Yeah.
NPC did.
I think you like throw it at her, but she was not like she'd already like turned to leave or whatever. I mean, have we been unhandcuffed yet? I guess.
Yeah, you have been... Sorry about that. Go on. You have been handcuffed at this point.
Yeah. So definitely, like I had already turned to leave, and you like pegged me in the back of the head with it by mistake, or maybe on purpose. I don't know.
A little bit of both.
But yeah, I'll pick it up and be like, Jabari, can you show us where we're going?
Absolutely. I know the way. And then I trust Outro to tell me how to get there.
All right, so you pretty much walk out the hallway and where we cut off like right before the break, where we ended up with the warm lighting and the like ambient noises of street fair. You walk out and you see what looks like, I don't know, like, how do I explain this? I guess the best way to put it would be like the slum, with words. The slums of like the Expanse on the one the one station they were on. So it's sort of like that. You'll see people walking around, all different types and appearances. Sort of a cyberpunk, but more like cyberpunk can't afford cyberware cyberpunk.
Ghetto cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I guess Jabari will turn left and, like, there'll be, like, a shanty over here, which your key fits into. And then it's just a single room with two different, bedrolls and, like, a hot plate. And, like, a back room for, you know, disposing of bodily waste.
I, like, look at
Oh,
it.
ain't
and
that
I'm like-
lovely?
I look at it and I'm like, already better accommodations than we had in your ship.
Damn burn!
Well, I have to be fair, they're larger at the very least. Then again, you have more privacy in my accommodation, so take it or leave it.
Privacy is a luxury few can afford.
So Jabari, you actually on the discussion of privacy, you probably say something along the lines, it's customary that we give you an hour of downtime between yourselves before we go on the tour to get you acquainted with the station. I know I'm kind of filling your character's voice in here, but
That's
it'll
fine.
be over very soon, I assure
It's
you.
customary for everyone to get an hour of downtime. You should use it wisely.
Jabari, I take it these jumpers are skeleton property, or are they stuff we need to take care of?
Damaging them by doing things like removing the sleeves adds on a monetary fine from your rations.
How does he even know that was what I was planning to do?
How do you even know?
You have a look about you.
So somebody walks by while the door's still open and is like, you really look like the kind of person who would remove their sleeves from their jumper.
Look, these
Like-
arms should not be hidden, right? It's like
Jabari had a chance to see them for himself before we got these jumpers put on.
These guns
And I'm
can't
like,
be contained.
and I'm like, I suppose that none of our personal property was recovered from the ship.
You can laugh
it's
about the
probably been
concept of
shit.
personal property however you please, Rindis.
I would not recommend destroying the public property.
It's-
Don't do it.
it's probably as personal as my ship is right now. Right, well, I'm gonna, I guess, I don't know, walk around for an hour and see if I can find a merchant that sells these jumpers only without fucking arm sleeves.
It
And
exists.
yeah, he just walks off.
What are you going to buy those jumpers with, though?
Depth, because that's what I'll get here anyway.
Wow, the observant one you are.
This isn't his first rodeo. He hasn't been this deep of a shit, but he's probably been an indentured servant somewhere at some point before.
Well, you shouldn't have floated your ship into their system. Just saying.
I start like looking for these supposed rations that are going to be there, and like I want to take an inventory of everything that we have in our quarters, as partly so that I know, in case Milo starts to tries to short me, but also partly so that I can
Short
see if
him?
No, like I'm not. I would not proactively short him. I don't trust him, but I'm not gonna fuck him over.
Okay.
We have a mutual understanding of each other right now. We don't trust each other, but we're in some shit, and we trust each other more than the rest out there.
Exactly.
Fair.
I don't.
That's a good point.
I don't trust him, but I trust them even less. But also, like, is there anything here I can use, like, as a explosive making chemist, or just like, with my first aid knowledge, like, what do we have here? Like, how is this actually a nutritional supplement, or are we going to like systematically be shorted like vitamin K or something?
Either biology or chemistry for me, whichever you prefer.
Sure.
I
They're
believe
both-
biology.
plan to do it, but-
I believe
yeah.
biology has a plus 15%. So.
No, biology is actually a plus 10, and explosives is a plus 15.
No explosives.
Chemistry.
Explosives won't work.
Chemistry,
but-
sorry. Chemistry is also 10.
Yeah.
They're both 10.
You can blow up the rations. It's fine.
That's but I
You
want
can
to
make a
know if
bomb
I
out
can.
of the rations?
I want to know if I can make a bomb out of the rations. I definitely
Do you
want to
know what? Do you want to know what foodstuffs you can use to make bombs? I could tell you. Probably
Tomatoes.
not on live.
Well, tell her depending on what she gets on this roll, because we've been on a roll so today with failures.
Right.
So hold on. Are you trying to figure out its nutritional value first? Because they're two separate rolls.
Well,
That-
let's go with nutritional value first, and then definitely also going to check on their explosive capabilities.
All right. So. Excuse me. The first roll is going to be biology or chemistry, your choice.
They're both plus 10, so here we go. Success!
Yes, these are equivalent to MREs, which are very high in fats, proteins, and calorie count. You probably have a collection of 6 of them. Each of them provide 3,000 calories, 200%
So a
of your
day's
daily
worth of food.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's 6
And
each,
now for the
actually.
explosives.
Yeah, now for the explosives. Also a success.
It will take tampering that you can accomplish in your room.
Sure, but possibly.
Yes, possibly.
Okay. I make a mental note for what I might need to accomplish that, if I could possibly requisition it at some point. But this is like a side project, back burner kind of a thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's
I'm trying to think
long-term
as far
project.
ahead as far as I can. Like, Dr. Patton wants off of this place, and she's willing to take whatever. She's willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. I think Milo, in the meantime, in that hour that he's walking around, is gonna use his trucker's charisma to try and like make some like quick friends, learn where the people hang out when they're trying to relax at the end of a hard day's work, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Maybe make sure that the depth on his new shirt isn't that high by fixing like a machine that someone else broke that they didn't want to bring out to the system because that was going to be a hassle. That kind of stuff, you know?
I don't know whether, like, there's definitely a bartering system, but there's not going to be a point trading system. There's probably
No.
like, Labor HQ approved, pawn shop somewhere. Actually,
Yeah, no, more of a, like, hey, your cash register is broken. I can fix it for you, but you get me a shirt. Like, and I'll trade you my shirt with it, or something along those lines, that kind of stuff. But mostly just getting to know the people here, and you know, the best way to get to know a place is to get to know the people that are at the bottom.
fair.
We're all at the bottom. That's the problem.
I will say
I don't know,
that you don't even need to roll for this kind of thing.
I could rimwise it up again, since that's also kind of like a stat that shows, like,
I mean, if
not
you
just what you know of them, but also how you go along with them.
if you feel that's something you would like to do, we can do so. But I don't think it's going to be like, I'm kind of in the school of you don't necessarily have to roll unless it's you know, going to give you a different reward than if you fail.
I was thinking of maybe if I like succeed, maybe I find like a cool contact that we can use a few times for extra information, that kind of stuff.
Fair, I'm into that. That's a cool idea. What?
Well, now here's the question: like, do I add rimwise on my intellect just because that's what it is, or do I add rimwise on a specific thing because that's what I'm helping people with? Like making friends because I'm helping them like unload something real quickly or something when I find them, that kind of stuff.
I think this is up to you. What you would want to roll.
I mean, if you say it like that, then I'm definitely helping unloading something to try and find a friend. Because that stat is a little bit better than the others, and I feel me rolling that well so far. So yeah, I'm probably like found a massive like load of cargo that just recently got put down on the ground, and there's this this group of hardy workers that has just been picking it up and down and up and down, and one of them probably has had a work day that has gone a day too long, probably on the like 30th hour of working, because they try and like save up some money, and you see them like half collapsing under weight under these things, like, oh, come on, help them out. And let's see how. Nope.
Oof.
Well, you make a friend. It's just they're not as useful as you expect them to be.
No, it's just like a rookie that just got indentured like 2 days ago, and just wanted to see if he could get as much points out of it as he could without taking proper care of himself.
No, it's somebody who was born on this station, but they are just now of working age at the age of 15.
Yeah. So I'll rack up my debt on a good shirt.
Cool.
And at some point, probably like 5 or 10 minutes before the hour is up, I come like skulking back into our little abode, and I find you like intricately working on one of like the MRI packages for food, like trying to see what's in there and then working out if you can make it explode. And just like knock on the side of the doors, like,
Hope I'm not disturbing you.
Master came back.
And not a lot of other places to go around here.
Right.
It's a real shit show.
Were
Were we meant to be picked up at Jabari, or
I suspect so.
Nice.
I see you found
You
your
found
shirt.
anything of interest? Can't have something that gets in the way of work, now can we?
Well, at least they're not going to kill us from malnutrition. These nutrient bars are probably flavorless, but they'll keep us alive.
Well, life is better than dead at the very least.
Not much I can do with them other than that, unfortunately. Not without...
What were you trying to do with them?
Well, know a few tricks.
So do I.
Nothing useful.
and
came
that's
of
when
it.
Jabari comes in.
Right, yeah.
I I see you have found a new shirt. That is good.
I said can't contain these.
Good. It would seem you are already integrating yourself into the system. And you?
Your integration has been initiated.
Assimilation.
Welcome. Join us.
Right, so tour amongst the body, I heard.
Yes.
So what do we call this place?
The liver.
It's the spleen.
Fair.
Distressing, but could have been worse.
Yes, if it was the pancreas, they would have cut it out years ago.
Where's
Right.
next?
I see my attempts at humor are not landing with either of you. Come, let's do the
Give me
tour
a
proper.
few days. I'm still a little distressed.
Give me that flask again and I'll laugh all you want.
Still a little green. Green in the spleen. Okay. So I guess the tour I'll kind of do myself. There's a portcullis on either end of the slums, which is where you're currently located. There's a mess hall with a security outpost behind it. There is a what looks quite nice like entryway off to this side. It's more kept up. It's not as rustic. The lighting is cool again in that general area as opposed to the warm lighting. You see what's obviously the ration distributor because there's lines of people there. And then the security outpost, but that's behind the other wall. I guess the first place that you've recognized is like the medical quarters is where you came from. So you came out and went over to your place. You go up this portcullis, which brings you to the dry docks and common area. The commons is just a big circular room with like broken arcade machines and like people playing checkers and whatever. There's another mess hall, a bar, another bar, and then a large security outpost. This room is full of like sentry turrets and is connected by like a large door, like a dry dock door, which leads to the dry docks, which is currently depressurized, so you cannot go in there.
Smart to have the large security outpost right next to the bar.
That's fair. As you come
I was
back,
going to say it's a good thing they have those turrets. I hate to see a game of checkers go bad.
you see that there are
playing me game of checkers.
There
That
are-
did not end well.
there are two bars across the street from your exact like your quarters. But you come back, you go through the portcullis, which brings you to a huge circular room with different stations like textile, like I wouldn't even say shops, but there's like little traders and things of that nature where you can like trade rations for clothes or trade clothes for toys or like entertainment or whatever. Then there's an emergency care center like along the like you can see it while you're coming down the industrial elevator, but it's an elevator that goes down like at a 45-degree angle and it's open on either side kind of thing. And then there's the giant mine shaft that goes down in like spiral staircase until it gets to a certain point, and then you can't see much further down. And then you come back.
Endless spiral staircase of doom.
Yeah, a little bit. But you come back, there's an elevator and a spiral staircase kind of thing. But you come back through this portcullis, which brings you to the common areas. Which I guess you get the opportunity to spend a little bit of time in if you would like.
What does
Well,
that time cost?
Yeah,
You are,
that's kind of the question. I don't think we have anything to spend yet.
So I think it's been made clear that like your time doesn't cost anything, it's everything else. And also it seems like first day initiates kind of get like a taste without any cost. So there's like you have like first day tokens kind of thing. If that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Right, well, let's see, you feel like heading up the bar? Because I could use a stiff drink, and he isn't giving any more.
Yeah, I think I could.
So the closest bar to you is called the Tongue.
Great
Of
name.
course. I like it.
Jabari, you in for a licking as well?
I do need to refill the flask after you all drained it.
Appreciate that.
Well,
by the way.
Phrasing.
Let me give you one of my tokens.
Okay, that works. I'm sure the bartender notices that it's not Jabari's first day, but takes it anyway.
Yeah.
The bartender is kind of like mad. He's like, "Oh, well, what did you do to get this?" Like, because those tokens are of high value, I guess, because they're kind of like free, like free
They're for the new
trade
people,
tokens.
so they-
Yeah.
Right. I love it. Yeah.
I kind of get a feeling like I should save these for later. Fuck it, I need a stiff drink.
Jabari would probably say, "Well, they expire in about 16 hours."
Get it while it's hot.
Oh, right, well...
There's actually like a little ticking digital clock on the back of them.
Oh, of course there is.
Right, and I'd want a fucking feast. Well, I guess I'll have it.
Yeah, get the top
I know,
shelf
at
while you
least
got it.
At
The
least
top
something
shelf,
nasty.
the top shelf is, yeah, the top shelf is still swill by our standards.
Of course. Give me what will get me
Right.
the drunkest.
The one that probably tastes the shittiest.
Jabari nods. Yes. Most
Let's
likely.
go. After that
Right.
coffee you tried to give me, I don't think it could be much worse.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that our
Alright.
our coined booze for this show is going to be called Bile.
Oh.
Nice.
Fair.
Yep. Must will that down.
Yeah. So
Do me a double shot of bile.
Swallow that bile.
it's kind of got like a gross yellow hue to it. It's like
Of course.
really, really diluted brandy, I guess, would be the best way to describe the flavor. But it burns like gasoline.
Yeah, it's a moonshine around here.
It's probably not
Basically
gonna
petrol.
kill us. We wouldn't be that lucky.
Hey, Barry,
Jabari.
get some moonshine.
Sure. He'll sit and drink with you guys. It's fine.
I mean, you kind of have to. You're being paid to sit and drink with them at this point.
Exactly. They don't need to know that. They can just think I'm their friend.
Right, so what's your name again? Saul or something, right? Any
Yeah.
tips for newcomers?
Keep your head down. Work hard.
Don't think
mouth
too much
off
about
this.
getting out of here.
Don't complain as around anyone who can dock your pay or add on time. The usual stuff. Just if bad things happen, stay behind me.
Do me a solid.
So
and point
say-
out some of those people. I don't want to make any mistakes.
He points
I'll
to
do it.
himself.
Yeah, and then I'll do a quick scan of the room and see if there's anybody else who might be, people who are there to give you a bad time.
Obviously, all the bartenders are whistleblowers.
Mhm. Wow.
Right,
We
so-
thought- those are the people you normally can trust.
Yep, exactly. That's why they're the whistleblowers.
Hey, Saul, you need another coin of these to make you a little bit more trustworthy for us.
Let's see here. How long does that coin last?
Another 15 hours and 47 minutes.
Certainly. I'll be your friend for as long as the coin is.
Jabari knows how the system works.
Mhm.
But you can get yourself something now with this coin that will last you for way longer than the coin will last.
That's what I mean. Once the timer on the coin is gone, it wouldn't matter. I'll use it now, of course.
Let's be friends for a week.
I suppose.
Always nice dealing in business.
Oops.
You can like flex it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll get something moderately good, but good enough to get you drunk.
I'm gonna like casually under the table so that Jabari doesn't see it. Slip Milo one of my coins because you've just given away 2.
He'll take it.
Me...
He won't say anything because obvious, but
I guess
Oh,
there
yeah.
really isn't any particular skill. Maybe give me a speed. Just a flat speed.
can I help her? Is that a thing that we can do in here?
Helping doesn't
I wanna, like-
seem to be a thing.
Because I want to kind of like keep Jabari distracted by like.
How about
was
this?
gonna-
She has
Like,
she has
you get the
advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, she has
Yeah.
advantage.
Okay.
I think that's how it would work. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So
Yeah.
just straight speed.
Yeah, straight speed, but roll it twice and take the best.
Fuck. They're both
Oh,
critical
no.
failures.
Oh God.
So Dr. Patton, you
Oh,
drop
God.
your coin on the ground, but you don't notice it, and you and Milo didn't really pick up each other like eye communication, so you won't know you dropped it until you guys get back into private area to
Oh
talk.
no.
I don't. Not only do I not know, I don't know that he doesn't have it. I don't know that I dropped it, and he doesn't know that I tried to give it to him.
Yes, exactly. So you
Is there a role for me to have noticed it?
sure.
Well,
Because I have like.
I
don't know.
think something that might. Yeah, I think something that might be fair as well is just like, once we figure out, you'll gain a stress. Just like, but oh God, no.
That's fair. It
Would, like,
depends on
scavenging
how
work?
scavenging. Yeah, I guess scavenging would be a good role for this. Go ahead and give me a scavenge.
What does that fall under? Or can I
It
just
would
do
still
those?
be
probably.
speed.
Yeah.
So speed with plus 10 because I have that ticked.
Mhm. Nope, you don't know about it either.
I keep the trend going, guys.
Welcome to the failure crew.
Hey,
We
there
made
was was a success earlier, so it's okay.
Wasn't that an
there has
NPC
been one
though?
success.
No, it was.
No, Kelsa got
Dr.
one.
Patton
Oh,
had
that's
one.
right.
It was
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Dr. Patton had a success.
You had two.
Two even.
successes, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About knowing how to turn my food into bombs.
There you go.
That's really
That's
what
it.
counts.
So she's not part of the crew
Really
anymore
what
now.
counts.
I'm kicking her out.
You're now part of the failure crew.
That's fine. I will take my exploding food and go elsewhere.
Awesome. So I
But
guess
yeah, I think you might not notice just because I'm like, well, so Saul, since we're friends now and everything, right? How do I punch someone in the face without being a problem?
Me punching them or you punching them?
Me punching them.
It
Might
might.
take
It'll be
a
no fun if you're
long
punching them.
drink.
It might still be a problem, but if somebody is needing a punching, I am more qualified to deliver.
Yeah, but my punches hit real hard. And I just need to get rid of my energy in my system, you know? Sometimes someone's just an asshole and they're asking for a fist to the face. Sometimes they're a robot. Well, always they're a robot. But that's besides the point.
I can
You're a
tell.
racist
I can.
motherfucker, but you asked the right questions.
I can tell you that if there is an instance where somebody might need to be punched in the face, and I am distracted by something the doctor is showing me,
It sounds like a very fair supposition.
he takes a long drink.
You're a
from
good
his
friend.
for the next week.
you're the best friend the guy's ever had.
The best friend a guy could buy
You
with his
got a
given
friend
coin.
in me.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think we continue being semi-drunk, because I don't think they get you anything that can get you actually drunk in here.
No,
and
you
just be
can
pissed off
totally
the rest of the day.
you could totally get drunk. That's not the problem. It's just not going to
Right,
taste really
yeah.
good. And if you get caught drunk on a job, it's a big problem. Because that's
not
that's
a
a
problem. I got
that's a
friend.
deduction of at least 7% efficiency to a worker's job performance.
I won't have a problem. I have a friend for the next week.
I think after a while, especially like after a couple of drinks, and Dr. Patton has gotten a little bit saucy, she starts thinking about her plan to like possibly make jury rig some explosives, and is like starts like reaching I picture us sitting like me, Milo, Jabari, and so this is like me reaching across Milo to like tap drunkenly on Jabari's shoulder or knee or something.
Meanwhile, Milo was all out in his own funds, like, what? Like,
And I'm like,
sounding complex, like, what the hell is going on here?
Jabari. I need and I want to name one of the things that I would need in order to the most innocuous of the things that I would need to jury rig these ration bars into explosives.
So like
And
a
I'm
standard cleaning chemical under other circumstances.
Sure.
Yes.
So I like lean over and I'm like, I need to know where can I find this? We got these coins for what, like 10 more hours?
I think this is going to end up being an intelligence check for Jabari with advantage, and then Jabari gets to decide whether he tells you or not.
And how do I roll it with advantage?
You just roll it twice,
You
and
just roll
whichever one's
twice.
best.
Alrighty.
I think in the meantime, Milo's just saying, like,
Doctor.
Well, you have an 88 or an 86.
personal space, Doctor?
And then like she like looks up at you from where she's like practically laying across your lap and is like, right. And then she like sits up like super duper straight.
So, wow, just even with advantage, just
but at least
You
it wasn't
only
a critical
failed.
failure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only
You only
failed.
failed. It wasn't a critical failure.
it's only clear.
Only failed.
I mean, to be honest, you only have a 35% chance of succeeding.
Mhm.
That
That's all I
type of
got.
roll.
That's what I rolled. I'm
I know.
sorry.
I know. Well,
Hey.
we're going to say you
Hey,
don't know where to find it. You
Barry.
probably don't even know what she's talking about, really.
Okay.
If you
And-
critically failed, the barkeeper would have kind of been like, that's a really suspicious thing for the new person to be asking for, but you didn't critically fail, so.
Can I make a chemistry check to see if there's like a less fancy smancy science term for that? Like,
oh yeah, because
Like-
like
she brings
Lysol?
up like, oh, do you have do you have the diametric code? It's like, hey, Barry, do you have Kleenex in here?
right,
Have you ever
exactly.
blown your nose on this place? On this station?
Exactly. Like, yeah, no, I asked for like the scientific.
Oh, god damn it!
Oh no! Oh no!
I do definitely not know a simpler term for this.
No, you ask for it by a simpler term.
Yeah, that's worse.
Yeah, you ask for it by a
That's where-
simpler term.
That's
But-
that's where the whistleblower catches on and is like, wait
Oh, yeah.
a
No,
minute.
it's not even gonna be,
You bring up the term. Yeah, you bring up the term, and I'm like, what you mean? And then say like the name of whatever the simpler version is, which is way more indicative of it being for bombs.
Not
Right.
even so much
Or
that.
drugs.
I wouldn't even say that. It's just like one of Jabari's higher ups walks by and says, "Hey, I think you've been spending a little bit too much time at the tongue with this lot. You still have to get them acquainted. The entire
think-
initiation isn't just about getting lubricated."
I don't know. I like
We're
that
going to
part a
have
lot.
to talk about
wait,
your
the
choice
tongue.
of phrasing.
And I think that's the moment where it clicks in his head, like, wait, you can use it to make bombs. And like, right. Swigs the entire drink down.
What's next then?
I
And
like
then
the
the,
lubrication
the,
box.
the Jabari's higher up, still sitting there. Well, not sitting there, but standing there. It's like, you all finish your drink and move along. I better not hear any trouble about you, and I'll be keeping an eye. Like, just proceeds.
By being semi-tipsy, I can promise you, you'll probably hear a lot of things about me. Some of them good.
They already
Some of them
walked
bad.
away. you
Yeah,
just
no,
keep
that's-
telling
He
them the
finishes
story, but they
he
already
finishes the
walked
se-
away.
He finishes the sentence anyway.
I think that Dr. Patton has started to take her drink, and is like has to stop as you go on this little rant as her smile starts to pull up and her like mouth opens because she's a little tipsy and like it dribbles like whatever this bile is down her cheek for a second and before she like kind of half coughs and then stops.
Yeah, he turns around like, that's what I like. See, I think this is the first time I've seen you crack a smile since I've. Well, actually, to be fair, that's probably the same for me. Fair.
I think
It's kind of all over the
drunkest-
place.
This is the drunkest I've been around you ever.
So Jabari,
Fair.
knowing that you can't just sit here because you're going to get in trouble, you realize that with those tokens you can get like deluxe rations, which are pretty much TV dinners.
Ooh. This one's Salisbury steak.
Aw, them TV dinner Salisbury steaks, man, get you every time.
It's good stuff. So yeah, I think we continue on with the tour. We gotta keep this moving.
How
So-
many coins would you say I still have left?
You have one. You have two, Kelsa.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or no, hold on. Zev has 0. You have 1. That makes
no.
more sense. Because it was 3 total, was what I allotted for you guys.
Well, damn it. Guess I'm not getting my chemistry set for dummies.
I mean, I don't
Baby-
think.
Make my
Baby's
drugs.
first nuclear reactor.
Nice.
I am not making my makeshift drugs yet.
Yet.
Excellent.
Soon, very soon.
So I guess we have a
Soon.
scene in the mess hall if you guys would like for that.
Sure.
I
mean,
You walk in.
Apparently, I can't eat anything anymore.
It's
'Cause I
it's
spent my coins.
it's rather like bustling. There's a lot of people moving around. The mess hall isn't exactly like the ration distributor. It's not all like ration bars and this and that. There's people cooking food, but it's cooking food that you can get on like an underground asteroid that has no atmosphere. Or so there's like mushroom soup and
Yeah.
dehydrated milk and things of
I
that
think
nature.
that's the point. I think that's the point where Kelsa figures out that I didn't even like figure out that she tried to give me a coin because I walk in and I
Right.
see like a steak being made. It's like, oh, fuck!
gotta
I
get
should
one
have
of
used my last
those.
coin on that one.
There,
Shit.
I will say that there is secretly, and for no other reason other than me wanting it to be, there is for some reason the best like tiny individual serving key lime pies ever made, but it's not key lime. It's like artificial lime flavoring with like, I don't know, condensed sweetened milk, but it's
Right.
in pie form. And
That
it's
sounds
just-
like something super weird that he would really like. I'll go for that. I'm like,
Fuck, I would have liked it. Well, no doubt.
like search around. It's like shit. I'm all out of coins.
And like I know that you didn't spend any after I tried to slip you one, and I'm like, that's when I realized what's up, and I'm like,
Mm.
we need to go back.
Back where? What? Why?
And I'm like thinking and stuttering, and I'm like, I dropped a coin.
I want you to make a save against fear.
Yeah, okay. Let's
Fair.
see it.
You succeed. You do not take a stress, but I'm going to need you to make a speed save at disadvantage to get the coin back.
Okay, so speed test at disadvantage. I'm gonna definitely fail this. So let's see it. That's failure
there it
and
is.
also failure.
Very
but
nice
I didn't
last
make it
critical
worse.
failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some old poor sap is drinking of that now.
Yeah, that's gone. Okay. Well,
You got a very nice
Anywho.
drink with it, though.
he got a very nice drink of watered down brandy.
Well, hey, Missy, what the hell's going on with you? Why are you? Do you never drink or something? Is that the whole thing?
No, never mind. Let's go get something to eat. All right.
Right. Well, you go get something to eat. I don't have anything, but it's fine. Jabari, lead us back, I say.
Make sure you get something good.
I'll get something for the both of us. All right.
Oh, it's fine.
That's the sweetest
I got
thing
rations back at the.
that has ever happened in the commons of the Skel.
Oh, we're such sweet bobbies.
Right.
Just get yourself something nice. I'll be fine.
So with like a
Try and
first
lift on
with
that.
with a first day token, you'd probably get like a full like entree, side, dessert, carbonated beverage. So
Can I bring back just the dessert, which is the pie?
yeah, you can do that.
It's a carbonated beverage, but it's a LaCroix.
And it's not because she knows
I was gonna
that
say
this is-
fizzy cheese, but there's already there doesn't need to be
fizzy cheese.
overlap
there
with
doesn't.
FV. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I think that it's because she doesn't like pie, like just as a general thing, she's like pie is too sweet, and that's why she brought it back. She had completely oblivious to his reaction to it before when we walked past. It was just because she didn't like it.
And it's just like overly sweet too, but that's what makes it the best, the secret best in the entire universe, is how overly sweet it is.
They'll just like.
Not nice dinner you got there.
And just like. Just like. Looks the other way. Like,
Just
I'm fine. I'm fine.
looking away but stealing glances at your pie.
Just that hungry wolf look at the pie.
Yeah, like as pretty much as soon as if you're there at the table when I'm eating it in the mess hall or whatever, or if I take it back to our quarters, whichever way, I immediately just like slide the pie over to you, and I'm like, I can't stand this sweet shit.
What? But what?
Let me just roll an intellect check to see if he understands the motive behind this.
Yeah.
No, I've been there.
Ah!
Okay,
Ah!
so she is giving you a pie out of the kindness of her heart because she does not like how sweet it is.
Pie success.
She also feels the slightest bit guilty, but you don't know why.
He kind of like looks at you.
Well, thank you very much, Missy. First ration is on me, I guess.
And just.
So you say that the ration that she dissected for explosive purposes was one
Yes,
of yours.
yes,
There
the
you
one that
go.
is now useless. That is.
You
that
haven't
one
seen that
was
yet?
mine.
Like, you haven't seen that yet?
I walked in while you were working on it.
Oh, it was while I was working on it? Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So...
I guess
Excellent.
that's fair.
Excellent. Cool.
Delicious.
So I guess we'll have like, you guys can have private time. Jabari is going to leave to go to their security quarters, which is like in one of the outposts.
I have a
'Cause-
private room.
Nah, you have you're in a bunker. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just as much
You're a
in
barracks, not a
Inventor 7 as we
bunker.
are.
I am. It's true.
You're in a barracks. Actually,
Just as
they
bad.
probably have more privacy than you do.
But do they though?
The question is how long we get to keep that.
This is your quarters, but others may be. Oh no. I drew this slums thing like size enough for me to. It's like JRPG logic where it's much smaller on the outside than it is once you go inside, kind of thing.
It is
yeah,
the
yeah.
tent from Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's the tent
Right,
from
no.
Harry Potter.
I get you.
But yeah, you guys have a pretty tight space, but that seems to be the common. You have a very common rooming situation, except
Okay.
some people.
I guess we
share
have
it
an actual
through.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we have an actual kind of nice evening since both of us are tipsy anyway. So we're probably complaining about a situation a lot, but in the good kind of way, where we're like slightly bonding.
You're
over
probably
our-
like, that
doom.
Frost thing was a real asshole. Why did you hang out
Why
with
the
that
fuck
guy?
did you pick up that bolt face? He's the worst. Shot me out of my own.
Assigned to me. I didn't get no fucking choice in the matter, but he never did me wrong. I don't know why you gotta pick on him like this.
It's what the first thing he did was go wrong on me. First, I got all of us out of that shitty planet, didn't I? Fucking blew up on us. I try to endanger my entire career, which will fuck that now, but I endanger everything. And the first thing I get is that I am inept.
I realize now. Now you're not entirely inept. I'll grant you that.
Why, thank you, Miss Bomb Maker.
Miss Bombmaker. This is
I
a
was
time.
about to correct. I'm like, no, and then I'm like, that's doctor, and like I pick up on that what you'd gotten to, and I'm like, how did you know that?
Why, you've seen my setup at the ship, didn't you? It's not like I don't know what stuff is. Just don't know all the fancy smanchy names that you use most of the time. Sure as heck
Figures.
blown my med bay up a few times.
Figures that too. Well, I trust you're gonna keep that on the quiet side, yeah?
Well, I didn't call you Miss Bomb Maker for nothing.
You know, like he actually like gets in closer to kind of like whisper in your ear whenever he says that.
I don't talk about your hobbies.
Oh, sorry. Doctor. Bomb Maker.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't talk about your hobbies, mister. And then like I lean in close and I'm like, there?
Well, I mean, we're putting things out open on the table anyway. I don't think it matters much what our previous jobs were.
You think about how lucrative making drugs would probably be in the setting that you're in right now.
Oh no, he knows fully well. he just knows that he doesn't have access to anything that lets him make those drugs.
Gotta get creative.
That is the first, because it's a bunch of money, well, value in the drugs for others. B, I can make drugs that keep me awake for a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a week of nonstop work, and then one day of just like, poof, I'm out.
Yeah.
That is good business dealing here.
I will say that there's likely, you remember that conspiracy theory that there was Xanax in the New York City water supply back in the 90s? There was a conspiracy theory that they pumped like Xanax into the New York City water supply. That's probably a situation going on here, like keeping everybody like copacetic. Just complacency is the business model.
Even more of a reason why we need our like Bobby's first chemistry kit so we can distill the water.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'll keep your. I'll scratch your back and you'll scratch mine. We can both pursue our hobbies here. There's a lot of overlap.
He proceeds to scratch her back.
Yeah.
It probably feels really good. Those doctor, like the cots probably were semi-clean, but like itchy clean, like too much disinfectant kind of clean.
Yeah, I do like the happy wiggle.
Excellent.
Anyone ever told you look like a cat?
A cat?
I don't think I've got that
Just
one
did the whole
before.
like cat wiggle. It's not. It's kind of, I don't know, cute, I guess. All right, it's been enough for tonight. You can scratch my back tomorrow, I guess.
And he kind of like flumps on what passes as sleeping area.
Excellent. Cool. So I have pretty decent plans as to what's going to go on. But because of our circumstance and because we are adding another player in next week, and actually we're going to be not having Kelsa next week, are we?
Is that next week? Yes. That
Yes.
is,
I think
next week.
Maybe there's an in-between job before we go on onto the spine.
well, I was going
She
to
isn't invited for.
I was going to say that we have about a half an hour. We could probably, just to not try to force in a random job that I won't be able to like put together well for you guys, call
Just
it
breeze through this.
just call it early was actually my
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
Because we'll be adding somebody in next week who'll probably help take over with the retrieval mission. We'll be able to explain where you're located at, Kelsa.
Oh,
We're at a
I
great-
have actually the perfect excuse. Actually,
Send me a message with that
yeah,
information.
I'll do that actually.
Awesome. But yeah, I guess we'll do the... I don't really plan on cutting episodes short more often, but we're short on a player. I didn't want to
It
go
makes
into...
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for this circumstance. So I guess we'll jump back to the narrative screen here. Get everybody back in the picture, and then we'll... Everybody here gets 10 experience, which means Jabari will be level 1 now. I had to take you down to level 0 because the characters start at level 0.
Oh, okay. And so, is it total experience for the XP block?
Yeah, total experience will be 10
Yeah.
experience. I don't think I gave the opportunity to get the experience point distributions that are talked about in the book.
And so, what was
No.
real quick?
I'm sorry?
What was the level up, or should I just do that off screen?
We'll do that off screen.
It's on page 36.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's really
I'll take
simple
care of
though. It's either 5 stat points and 3 stat points, or it's 4 and 4 on saves.
And then some other smaller stuff.
Yeah, and then it's like you wipe out your stress or addictions, or add 1 point to your resolve, and then you get 2 skill points to apply as you please. But remember that, what is it? Trained is 1, expert is 2, and
Master's 3.
Master's 3, yeah. Cool.
Okay, cool.
And you can bank your skill points.
Yeah, you can bank them. Alright, well, I guess I will jump over to Kelsa's end card. Kelsa, why don't we... Oh, you're zoomed in all funny. Hi, Kelsa's shoulder.
How,
Can't hear you.
why are you zoomed in all funny? How dare you? Stop that.
It's all
we go.
good. Hello everyone. I'm
There you go.
Kelsa. You can find me on Twitter at Kelsa, Twitch and YouTube. It's Kelsa Delphi. I play role-playing games on the internet when I am not here, being a drunken doctor. I'm over.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Right, actually, it's hilarious.
Remember last session? Well, it's different now.
Oh no, it's just because Outro plays a drunk doctor on the game that I GM for them.
Fair.
So on my own channel, on Mondays, which is tomorrow if you're watching this live, we have Consumed, which is a we are all reality TV stars, and you all, chat and our viewers, are the eldritch horrors that watch us. We've been plucked from our normal lives and forced to do reality TV for your benefit, and it's really strange. But there are accompanying rules for chat to participate as well in the game, which is really awesome. Also on my channel on Saturdays, we have Republic City by Night, which is a Legend of Korra RPG, Forged in the Dark. That game is really fun, and I love it a lot. I'm a player in that one. Syncard has written the system as well as being the GM, which is pretty cool. And then Thursday, like Outro was saying, is Packet Loss over on Party Wipe Games, and I'm the GM for that, which is space with a lot less horror, because it's a Scum and Villainy game.
Scum and Villainy is such an excellent game.
It is. It's really, absolutely, hands down, one of my favorites. I love
So fun.
Blades. There's so much great stuff about Blades, but Scum and Villainy is in space, which makes it better just by default. I really love that game. That's just everything.
I can see a Scum and Villainy variant of our little failure crew.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to actually getting into the more horror portion of Mothership, and
You're the
We're-
one that
we're
took us
getting
away
very
from
close.
You're the one
We
that took
might-
us away from the space station without power. Damn it.
we might still, but and I'm sure we will eventually. But I'm sure there's always chances of stuff happening down in the mines too. Because
The
that's
mines
definitely
are a
gonna
terror.
We don't know that though. We don't know that, but we will learn. Anyway, that's me. I'm gonna say I'm done.
Okay, I will pass over to Rindis because I just fixed the aspect ratio. So
Okay.
Rindis.
Hi, I'm Rindis of Party Wipe Games. You can catch us most days playing over on my channel, Party Wipe Games. Tomorrow we'll be doing my homebrew 1920s inspired high fantasy game, Forest for the Trees. They are currently investigating, badly, a mystery plot of people disappearing in the slums area. Tuesdays we play Vancouver by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition game where my character is sad because her favorite mortal is dying. Wednesdays, we are not playing anything currently because Forgebreaker had a great fundraiser and they are taking time off. I think we're actually playing this week. It would be his Civil War campaign, which is also a homebrew 5th edition game. Thursdays, we play Packet Loss, as was mentioned. Fridays, I have started doing live readings of books. It is a slot we give to Shay, but she finished up her Shipbreaker, and so I've been reading Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens. The last Friday was a huge success. We had a lot of people sitting in and watching, and I had a blast reading it. Saturdays we play Descent into Avernus, and Sundays are currently open, so stay tuned.
I mean, Sundays you're here too, so.
Sundays I'm here. Yes, I'm here for 2 sessions is what I have earmarked.
Yeah,
but
it's
my
that's
time
how
has
this
my
works.
time has opened up. So unless Jabari dies horribly, I'm available.
Excellent. Awesome.
Always
He has a
option.
habit of dying.
Always an
horribly.
option.
Awesome.
It's gonna be the same thing. You're gonna get
Yeah.
turned to stone.
Turn to stone.
Everybody, yeah, you're probably going to get turned into stone. I mean, being jettisoned out into space kind of turns you to stone a little bit, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, in sci-fi context, not in real
Frozen.
Flash
life.
freeze. Flash freeze.
Frozen, generally, but
I
fine enough.
I thought it was more like I watched a documentary where it explained that it's more like a violent explosive of bodily fluids out of your body.
Oh
But-
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
You're,
yes, no,
you're,
you internally explode if you normally go into outer space. But in
Yeah.
sci-fi outer space, you flash freeze.
Well,
your
with
blood
that
boils
noted,
inside of your body.
Zev, tell us a little bit more about yourself and exploding in outer space.
Well, hi everyone. I don't really explode in outer space. I just explode with creativity, generally, hopefully, something along those lines. If you want to follow what I'm doing, the best choice you'll probably have is following my Twitter, since I'm a little bit sporadic with everything, since I got a lot on my plate right now, which is fair. But hey, I am planning on making a return with my Sliced Power Hour, since I'm still struggling to get through Chapter 9. That's a whole thing.
Celeste
but we'll
gets
get there
really hard,
eventually.
let alone Chapter 9.
Chapter
Yeah.
9 is redonkulous, but I've basically near 100% of the rest of the game, so I want to finish that without assist mode, because I've done the rest without assist mode. So I need to be capable of doing this. I just need to take my time with it. So you want to see me struggle with that? That should be making a return sometime soon. And yeah, if I make anything else, like I've made some D&D supplements, that kind of stuff, I'll generally push them out through Twitch, through Twitter, so you can find them there. And with the last few seconds I have on my screen, I want to thank everyone here because they're all amazing, and I have had an amazing time playing again with the worst trucker in space, Millo.
You lie. Milo was a great trucker in space.
Yeah, okay, he was a great trucker, and then he got captured by whatever
And then he
went
doesn't
happened
have
here.
his truck.
Yeah, my truck is gone. Come on, now I am the worst trucker in space.
Doop-doop-doop. I'm still adjusting my screen, so you have more
Oh,
time.
and so I can
make
keep
it awkward.
talking about
Time.
explosions in outer space. They are painful. You should not do them. I recently watched Event Horizon, and one of those characters explodes in outer space.
That was a
Not-
good movie.
That was a good movie.
Event Horizon
Also-
is amazing. It's also terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, no, it is amazing. Also, I needed something to hug for the past hour after that.
Yeah, right?
It's fine.
All right,
It's
well,
fine.
I'll take over now that my screen's working. Hi, I'm Outro. This is my channel. I play video games, tabletop games on the internet. I am currently playing Pokemon Shield, not Sword because everybody's playing Sword. And I am here on Sundays GMing/wardening a game of Bag of Bones, which is Mothership. And on Thursdays, you can catch me over on Party Wipe Games, Rendis's channel, playing our game of Scum and Villainy called Packet Loss.
Where
Other
you're
than
a
that,
drunk doctor.
yeah, where I'm a drunk doctor who's currently dying. I don't know. I gave them control of my character because it was my my partner's birthday on Thursday, so I didn't get to be around.
Don't worry, I'm sure everything's fine.
I need to watch that
If-
episode. I will be
you
doing so
should.
as soon as possible. Have you put it on YouTube yet, Rendis?
No, I'll get to that tonight. I have a bit of a backlog. I've been setting up Patreon, so everything else has kind of been on the backlog.
I get you. That makes sense. All right, cool.
Nothing
Also,
else
I have
bad
a-
ever happens.
I
when
have a
you pick someone
Patreon, but
else.
I haven't been able to like provide a ton to it yet. But I'm looking forward to developing some game design stuff and putting it forward. But
We were bouncing ideas, and we have some pretty solid stuff nailed down that I think would be fair for a tabletop streaming channel. So hopefully it catches some people's interest.
yeah, for sure. I
And
think
hey,
it would be nice to have like some of the channels like mine, yourself, or Kelsa's, like not taking the channels away, but putting some of the content all in one spot so it can be more easily distributed. But I don't know. That's
And
a
if
conversation
recent-
for a
yeah.
different circumstance, you know.
I mean,
And if recent internet trends show anything, if you can't find anything else, you can always just give a tier for Baby Yoda gifts, and everyone will come.
Yeah,
I'll just sell some gamer and buy bathwater, and it'll
There
work
you go.
out.
I mean,
Perfect.
I used the silly picture of the Mandalorian with the baby Yoda. Like, I've just met this creature, but I will kill everyone in the and then myself while I was playing Fallen Order, and I definitely had a higher turnout than normal, so it does
Nice.
work.
Excellent. Well,
Everybody likes
Everyone loves that Baby Yoda.
well,
I like
Guys,
that
It's a
people
good
get
reason.
thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, Cass, for playing along. We'll be back next Sunday without Kelsa, but Kelsa should be making their return on the 1st of December.
yes, and then we
Actually,
did
no.
for
Yeah, the 1st of December, and then we have the weekend off for PAX Unplugged.
yeah
I wish I could.
the first we
And
played.
then I'll be all alone,
Oh no.
sitting here, sad.
I
wishing
mean,
I could go.
you could probably also sleep, being that it's what 3 o'clock or almost 3 o'clock in the morning your time.
I mean, I'm already used to the schedule right now anyway, so
That's fair.
it's fine.
All
As
right.
long as it's only one day, right?
I'll just go stream while all of you are gone. It's like, yes, all your viewers,
Ha,
come to me.
I'll-
See me struggle with Celeste.
I will make sure to host you the entire weekend. All right, everyone. Thanks so
Nice,
much. We'll
thank you.
catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.